So when I got married, we met on a blind date, and I was 6 months out of prison. You know, when I got out of prison, most guys' first thing they want to do is go get laid, right? Not me. I didn't have anything to offer a female. I had nothing. So I was going to grind, and I was going to figure out my own shit before I ever even entertained the thought of dating or meeting somebody. So I grind for a few months, then I start, entertaining the idea of meeting someone. And then this dude that I was doing this CrossFit style workout stuff with said, hey, my wife and I got this girl we want to set you up with. So at the time, I was like, well, I'm not sure. But then a couple weeks later, I called him and I was like, set it up. So we go out on this awkward double blind date, double date. I don't know. It was him and his wife and me and my ex. Awkward as fuck. Like, I'm trying to talk to her, but they're talking. His wife's getting drunk and acting crazy, and it was a disaster. So afterwards, they're leaving, whatever. I go up to her and I'm like, hey, look, that was crazy, but can I get your number? I'd love to take you out again, just the two of us, blah, blah, blah. So we go out again, blah, blah, blah. We date. We're engaged and married in less than a year. Crazy. Quick side note, from the moment we met, she would tell me all the time, her dream was to be a stay-at-home mom. I have never in my life seen somebody so miserable living out their dream. Just wanted to get that up there. So when we met, I really didn't have shit to my name. I worked hard and, I had a little money saved, but I was roofing at the time, you know what I mean? I took whatever job I could get. But we were barely making ends meet. I mean, we went 2 years without a microwave or the internet, all right? I had the same antenna that I had in my prison cell, running up my damn chimney, hanging out my chimney just so we could catch some basic channels for the kids. Right? Like, it was real. And then in 2017, I found out I had this natural ability to mix amazing e-liquid for vapes. And so I decided I needed to take that and do something with it. And so I started my first company, Convicted Clouds. It did okay. I had no business knowledge, this and that. I was doing it all on my own. But in the process, I created a network and I built a network and I had doors open for me that got me into running, honestly, the nicest and best vape shop I have ever stepped foot in. And it got to where we had 4 shops. And I also launched another company, another brand of Delta 8 products that took off and did really well. Anyway, point is, I busted my ass to take my family out of living like God, just living basically with nothing. And so pretty quickly I started making real money. And I was able to afford to give my family stuff that I never could before. Anything they needed, anything she asked for or said she needed money for, no problem. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Well, guess what? She got used to that shit real quick. But she hated, or chose to hate my job just to give her something to hate about me. So while I'm literally affording her this life where she's flying to California twice a year with her little girlfriends and driving, I bought her a new car and any Apple product, anything she wanted, shoes, anything. The whole time just treating me like I'm the biggest piece of shit, It got to where I had to take Xanax for 2 years because every night, no fail, every night on my drive home from work, I would get these crippling anxiety attacks and I couldn't figure it out. And I would have to pull over multiple, and I had to calm myself down until I could continue driving again, and so the Xanax helped. And, a year after the separation, I weaned myself off because honestly, I didn't want to be on that shit for my whole life. But, I realized the cause of my anxiety was the fact that I never knew what I was coming home to. I didn't know if I was walking into a monster that was ready to brawl and just pick a reason to fight and just cause so much drama, or if I was going to walk into, hey babe, want some dinner? Just after the night before beating the hell out of me like nothing ever happened. It was the fucking Twilight Zone. And so I bust my ass, the stress at work is crazy. I'm running 4 shops, running a whole product line, doing everything, and then having to come home to this shit when everything I'm doing is for them, but I'm made to feel like the biggest piece of shit for doing it. Even though she's sitting there enjoying the fruits of my labor, you know what I mean? And so I ended up walking away from the career I loved, the passion I loved. Now granted, there was some other stuff in it. I had a shitty business partner, it was a snake and this and that. But I would say the biggest reason why I left was because I was just trying to make us work. I couldn't fathom being away from my kids every night. That was my peace, that was my serenity, that was the thing in my life that kept me going. And so even if I had to come home to her every night, the fact that I had my daughter and my son and my stepson, I was okay. And so I just kept dealing with it until finally I just walked away. Walked away from my career, walked away from everything I ever loved. I found my niche in life, you know, where I belonged, where I made a name for myself. People knew my name in the industry I did, in the industry I was in. And I threw it all away for what? So now I sit here breaking my back again, just like I was when I first got out of prison and before prison when I was a knucklehead, because, you know, I didn't do anything to deserve a good paying job. So, yeah, you know, don't get me wrong, I love what I do. I love, you know, being an arborist and cutting trees down and this and that, but at the end of the day, I went from making well into 6 figures to, you know, not even making half of that. So it takes a toll, and it's been a struggle, you know, so, you know, supporting my kids. I can't give my kids what I used to be able to give them, and that shit hurts. It's a real struggle knowing how much you poured into something and someone. And it's not even that it didn't work out. It's that she doesn't appreciate a single fucking thing I did for her. She thinks she was this perfect little wife, and I was this horrible husband who put his family second, didn't care about her, the kids, whatever, like, which is a complete fantasy in her head. Like, I know for a fact I wasn't perfect, but I was a good husband, and I'm a great fucking father. You know, we all are. You know, I know there's a lot of people looking at this, watching this, probably sitting there like, damn, I ain't the only one. No, you ain't, bro. Like, there's a lot of guys going through this shit and without knowing how to get out of it. You know, how do you leave your kids to save yourself? You sacrifice your happiness for your kids in a heartbeat any day, right? Well, the truth is, at a certain point, are you really doing your kids any favors, letting them see her act like this? Letting them see a marriage that is so toxic and abusive and make them think that's normal? You know, at a certain point, sometimes the best thing you can do is, and I had to make that decision, and it's been 2 years now, and it's still a struggle, you know, it's still a struggle financially, it's a struggle in a lot of ways, but I'm fucking free, okay, not free, still gotta deal with her with the kids, and she makes it her mission to make me miserable, but I don't gotta come home to her every night anymore, and you don't either. So, with that, that's it for today. Hope y'all had a good day.